So the question would be, what was the plot to fuck up our country in this way? Because you cannot tell me that Trump did not have even better ideas in itself. You know what I'm saying? Based on protecting this country. Now we see these different states are calling themselves keeping Trump off the ballot. You know what I say to those states with their slavish, do the bidding of their satanic worship and garbage brain? You're a coward. You ain't nothing but an unadulterated, screwball, twisted, and probably have always been, maybe, you know, to sit here and keep any candidate, even if it was creepy Joe Biden himself, off the ballot. How dare you? What a shame. And that goes for many, many states who's beginning to follow suit with their garbage. You could follow it all you want. I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. But I think it's one of the most cowardly and stupidest things I've ever heard a state say. My face. Clowns. We see Trump bizarrely claims they will challenge, no, they would change the name of the state of Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? If he, I guess if he was reelected, you know what? I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. We see in a recall, we do other news as well, but we have a recall out there, people, so be careful. We have a chicken recall in New York due to life threatening illnesses. Not even messing with the food, which they had probably always been, we know that. I mean, that's why there's so many this and so many that. Somebody sabotaging the food and the agriculture. Agriculture should be number one at this time. While we're busy talking about doomsday and all kind of garbageable, nonsensical garbage shit like Elon Musk doing, building robots and all kinds of shit that look like the Terminator, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of bullshit to control people. My question is, anytime you see a race of people doing something like that and trying to control your brain from within your brain, you know full well their minds of satanicness is truly reality. But we see here where the civil war after Trump wins may be worth it. Evangelist preacher has spoken in itself. You know what I'm saying? I'm amazed at some of the things. We're just going through it now. I'm amazed at some of the things that they say out there alone. You know what I'm saying? In expecting us to appreciate the reality and think that they could tell us anything. Look at the movie that Obama just made. Now, my question would be, what the fuck is wrong with Obama and what's wrong with the people in the world? To allow this man to make a movie about on Long Island saying that they're destroying this and destroying that. My question is, so who are you? Are you a clone from our enemies? Or have the enemies cloned you and put you in our country? You in our God, and you work your way up over years and years and all the way to your Luciferian blood sucking thirsty plans. But at the same time, you work up to this kid, and then you try to normalize and scandalize and eliminate and eliminate and even many other things. The question still remains in itself. Why would you do these things? Nobody sympathizing down to you. We're just asking a simple question. Because we know you're full of shit. We know you're retarded. We know your brains have been shot, probably from wherever you came from. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing this garbage. Right in the American people's face. You've been preaching open border policy. And now they're attacking polices, and then when they get and they're getting released with no bail and doing this. But meanwhile, the American citizen, like me, get stopped on a normal traffic ticket and get arrested just because you did not pay your tickets and you didn't go to court and so on and so on. People get tired also the same thing. But at the same time, we get the worst of it. We go to jail, we got to bail out, and we got to pay hundreds of dollars and pay hundreds of dollars. Meanwhile, he preaches open border policy. They have an opportunity to come into this country for what sometimes I really don't know. You're attacking civil service workers who's supposed to protect and serve, but we know the corruption can be everywhere. So we're not faulting. They have a job to do. And if their job is righteous and done correctly, then it is that. And that's what it's supposed to be. At the same time, but we see where that is what it is. So we see the evangelists cutting through because we have a lot of disturbance in the region. You know what I'm saying? We see where Catherine Fong has put forward this situation where she seems to want to report on this. We have all kinds of people in our country that should not be here, but they're preaching open border policy, meanwhile persecuting the American people. Now, at the same time, you pay all these tickets, you do all this, you do that, and that, and you go through the hardship. You know what I'm saying? Even though they know for well, they're making sure that you never, and in your lifetime, probably never got the big break. So, so many are now living off of peanuts, and the more you make is the more they take. In every political way, and when they keep on raising this and raising that, but then you let all type of people come into the country, right? And they get to attack the police, hit them a two-piece, probably an uppercut, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. Get arrested and get out with no bail. Let that have been me who had did some stuff which I would never do to a police officer because his job is noble in my book. And in a society of a metropolitan, you're going to have some form of control, or you're going to end up with chaos. You know what I'm saying? Chaos and many other things. Tyranny, all types of it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have some form of control. We understand that. But at the same time, you let them in the country, they get out with no bail, and rather than showing some respect, they're sticking up their fingers. So this is a great start to seems like they want to create a great war. You know what I'm saying? And there's a replacement theory I'm going to tell you anyway. So we see that because what group of people would vote for a man that is talking about open border policy? So did he really win the election? Or did a whole bunch of nutcase ass jackass set of people, not all, but a whole vast majority of them, involve themselves in putting this man into the chief and commander's seat? What is wrong with you? You can even see by the biological group that took place that they don't care too much about you, do they? All right. But we see evangelist preacher, you know what I'm saying, Andrew Womack said that the Civil War would be worth it if it meant getting, you know what I'm saying, the President Donald J. Trump back into the White House. Well, it has come to that point, haven't it? Because we seem to have a lot of niggers, let's just be honest, who have been brainwashed into believing rather than forming and fighting to form that to bring protection to their people, prosperity to their people and to the world as a whole, as which we have always done. A lot of people are not rich because they're rich. They're rich because they stole from Africa. They're thief. But anyway, even those in there know. They know more than a crook and a go along. Whatever the white balls say to him and whatever group he's involved with, whether it be Arab, white, black, green, or purple, in its coalition of their group is doing this to the world. And the majority of people are told or driven or taught over generations and generations and generations and generations of time to where you are now to believe that. So if you're black, you vote Democrat. Yeah. And I might go back to smoking crack. Anyway, let me stop. I'm just playing again. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where, you know what I'm saying, you know, Trump was to be elected if we got, you know what I'm saying, a conservative Congress. And Congress that they feared that we would have another civil war. There should be no civil war in this country. Why are you letting other people control your mind into chaotic sea while you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, a civil war? What is that about? We see the carnage that's going on in the Gaza Strip with the Gaza people. And we have people over here talking about having a meeting as to whether or not to genocide the people, wipe them off the face of the planet, all of them put together, the whole nation of them. That's like somebody saying we're gonna genocide the whole of New York and they kill every single person in the state of New York. You feel that's right? Of an invading, created group of people by the creepy Joe Biden administration and his conglomerates over the years, and put those people there now to do this to the people and that to the people and the African people as well, before even them, and still doing it in the region, period. For Egypt, all that. They're not the original people of that land. Nor is it that they are indigenous as well to that part of the land. But they are invaders. So my question is, what the fuck is the argument? And why are you genociding the people? So you are now setting up your new world order, you know what I'm saying, blockade within that region or controlling that region, even right there by Saudi Arabia. And in bed with the Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabians are white people as well. In their Luciferian overstanding. Not all is in the group with them. But you see many of them are. And Saudi Arabia and the people that you see in Saudi Arabia are also invaders. Just like Netanyahu. Why are you over there in Saudi discriminating and dragging the women by their hair like a caveman? All right. But at the same time, we see the nonsense that'll go on. You see? We see the nonsense that go on. You know what I'm saying? We see memory loss press, creepy nut Biden also, almost starts crying after so and so. You know what? You know what? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a really a shame to see the nonsense that is going on in our country today. You know what I'm saying? We see Donald Trump claim he saw someone shoplifting a refrigerator, you know what I'm saying, the other day. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We see Russian Vladimir Putin claims that the Joe Biden administration is killing the USD by using, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's see what he's talking about because, you know, for well, we know the nonsense that's going on. You know? We know the nonsense. We know the nonsense that's going on in itself. We know the nonsense. You know what I mean? Yeah. We know the nonsense. Playing with me. Get off my shit. That's motherfucker. But we see Vladimir Putin claims the Biden administration is killing the USD by using it as a weapon. Say, blue was dealt to America and even its allies are now, you know what I'm saying, or now, you know what I'm saying, downsizing the dollar. Well, of course, they've been doing that, Putin, for a long time. You've been downsizing, they've been upsizing, they've been rigamazing and all that. But we see the president, Vladimir Putin, has once again taken aim at the U.S. dollar, accusing the creepy nutcase jackass of administration, President Joe Biden, of killing it with well, you got to understand, Putin, this man and these groups of people or whoever they're involved with and all the bullshit. I'm not going down the road with these nutcases. You know what I'm saying? It's all about this whole chaotic mixture in the witch's pot. You from Black Lives Matter, rushing the Capitol, the pandemic, the executive orders, the mandates, the open border policy, the war in Ukraine, the war in the Gaza Strip, the war all over the world, yada 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 yada. This is their way. This is what they believe in. They believe in this chaotic nonsense to keep you confused as to the point while they slither like a snake, giving a snake a bad name, into worving it into the what and molding it into what they want and how they want it to go. But while you're busy getting caught up in the mixture, you're missing the point as to where it's going. Nobody is in that bullshit anymore. We see Trump could be convicted, you know what I'm saying? He could be convicted days before the election. You could also fuck off days before the election with that stupid cheat. And I'm not talking to you, Catherine. You know what I'm saying? So, Katrina, whatever your name is, Shuttleworth, 11 hours ago Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the news in the 100, in the red dot and the circle. You know what I'm saying? But that's bullshit. That's straight bullshit in itself. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? In itself. But when we see here, we see new legal analyst has suggested that the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, you know what I'm saying, could receive a verdict in his D.C. criminal D.C. Wait a minute. He in his D.C. case, you know what I'm saying, in his D.C. criminal case, just days before the election. Now, I told people that that's what it's all about. Of course, we're gonna start hearing he could be convicted days before the election. Because you're a coward, you're an idiot, you're a Luciferian, Baphomet, blood sucking stuff, set of dumbass, jackass, idiot who just bent on destroying our world, and we're still asking why. But at the same time, we know that that's what you want to effect the fact that he doesn't get re-elected. But if the people are smart, you would once in your lifetime, for the first time, show all of these demons where you stand and be elect Donald J. Trump. The potential timeline came about as a result of D.C. Court of Appeals decision to deny Trump claims of presidential immunity. Of course, you're going to do that, but that's not what the Constitution and all of it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the different chapters of the 14th Amendment in itself, 50 or whatever, all of that. I read many of them, and that's not what it said. It said the president has immunity regardless. Regardless. Now, I'm not giving the president immunity to say you will go around and slaughter people. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying based on the words of the Constitution that were written, the Constitution did not just say for him to not have any immunity at all. What you want to do is just basically bar him from running for president. But you know for what I'm right in what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? He has full immunity. And it's sad that other presidents, criminal, creepy, fucking bump headed asses, had the same thing too. That's why they didn't go to jail. And many of them were able to go to court and then battle through and then walk away. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where the potential timeline came about a result of D.C. Court of Appeal decision to deny Donald J. Trump into the 2020 election. We know that to subvert the 2020 election. This, you know what I'm saying, means that it's now up to the Supreme Court. Aha! There we have it. You know what I'm saying? And the Supreme Court in itself should have more sense unless we know who and what you serve. So this is going to prove to me with the Supreme Court here, uh-huh, where you really stand now. You see what I'm saying? We going to really find out where you stand. Because remember, you have been exposed. And let me get a swig on that. Let me get a swig on that. You have been exposed in all ways. So don't come and tell me that you were not. Because listen to what it says. The timeline is dependent on what the high court does, But the analysts suggest that Trump D.C. trial, could start in June and July and might not wrap up until October 30th. If that's the case, we could see a verdict days before the election, which could mean a very unprecedented 2024 election day. Well, that's what they want. While they are doing all the garbage around the world and mixing the pot in itself. Whoopee! Now, the uncertainty surrounding the verdict leading up to the election could make for moments in the presidential politics that feels more like a TV show than real life, you know what I'm saying? If the analyst is accurate, Trump could be convicted of serious of a serious felony days before he expects to win the president. You full of shit. You're full of shit. And that's all to it. So all we have to do now is sit back and watch and wait while they mix in the brew and the wars and the killing and all the shit that been going on in Africa for years, and they out of the Turks and all different people all up in Africa killing off the Africans and driving them off the land. They going over there to Yugoslavia and Yemen and down there, down there in this country, down in and then the Australians over there, they doing a bunch of shit to the Aboriginal people, and they carrying on, and it's war here, it's war there, it's war every fucking where. We must wake up now. We must wake up now. I'm getting tired of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But we see Creep Joe Biden during the press conference, you know what I'm saying, in movies and one, in his little pressy confident, you know what I'm saying? We see the Creep Joe Biden, pressy confident, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on here. We see during a press conference just now, you know what I'm saying, during the press conference just now, you know what I'm saying, the president of Mexico should open the border with Gaza You know what I'm saying? In whatever garbage we talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know, we don't want to hear the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear the nonsense. What they need to do is close the border, organize the border to a more secure position. And that's it. So, I'm going to cut it here. So, this is Point Black saying, I'll come back and get with you in another flight. So, stay tight. One.